You're welcome to another edition of the Economy and Politics Show as the conversation on the political, economic, and socio-political space continues. Today is Friday, and what we call Thank God it's Friday. The weekend is already beginning. It's November 20th, 2020. Take note, 20 November 2020. 20 is the big number today. We will focus on deepening political institutions and processes for economic transformation. We always discuss around politics, but it has to be nexus with the economy. Let's take the outline for today. First, we'll look at the benefits of peaceful transition of power in a democratic setting. We'll be celebrating an iconic Nigerian Democrat and leader. And of course, the big one that happened this week, Governor David Umahi's defection to the All Progressive Congress and the implications. And of course, 2020 has been a year of socio-political upheavals, just to track some countries that have experienced it. And of course, the value of a transformative political economic philosophy, how important it is. Brazil is in focus. Let's begin with the peaceful transition of power and its benefits. There is a nexus between peaceful transition of power and friendship and partnership. And if there's any country that emboldens this, that exemplifies this, that codifies this, it is the United States of America. An enduring democracy that has spanned over a century, and that is remarkable. Well, I will be capturing the modern times. We were born in the 80s, so we can just relate with some of them. But historically, America has a long history of peaceful transition of power. And that is, like I said, something economies and democracies like Nigeria will learn from. The first spotlight as we entered the 80s was that between former President Jimmy Carter and former President Ronald Reagan. After losing the elections in 1980 to Ronald Reagan, President Jimmy Carter, who was of the Democratic Party, laid aside the party differences to ensure that his opponent from the Republican Party got all the support required to take off on a solid foot as the 40th President of the United States of America. It yielded benefits as both developed an interesting relationship, which was remarkable. Today we know that former President Ronald Reagan is late, but that was one of those modern ways of peaceful transition of power that now gave way to friendship and understanding and partnership. The second one we can capture in our modern times was late former President George Bush Sr. I put senior because he's number 41 in the list of past American leaders, and Mr. William Jefferson Clinton. After losing the elections to Mr. William Jefferson Clinton, President George Bush of the Republican Party, George Bush Sr., who was the 41st president, followed with that tradition of a seamless process of transition. Despite, again, the differences, he was Republican, President Bill Clinton was of the Democratic Party. He gave him a warm reception, ensured that General Services Administration and everything worked assiduously and seamlessly to provide a good soft landing for President William Jefferson Clinton. And today, the Clintons and the Bush family are very close. One occasion, President William Jefferson Clinton described late former President George Bush Sr. as his father, and late former First Lady of the United States of America, Barbara Bush, as his mom. So it had a very close relationship and understanding. Just look at that benefit. The next one, which is another very interesting flow and relationship, again, showing that tradition, consistency in peaceful transition of power, was between President George Bush Jr. and then Senator Barack Obama. President George Bush Jr. of the Republican Party gave the first African-American president in history, Senator Barack Obama, in 2008, a warm welcome in the White House. And he also effected a smooth transition process. Took Obama through all the issues around administration, the challenges, and this was applauded as a huge step in strengthening the democracy in the United States of America. President Obama always remembers that and even noted that in his inauguration speech, thanking President George Bush Jr. for that warmth and very cooperative transition process. Of course, they both forged a strong partnership and relationship on national issues. And as a lot of people are aware, even President George Bush Jr. and First Lady Michelle Obama have a very warm friendship and understanding. It's something that has captured everyone's attention and again shows you how peaceful transition can lead to good friendship between leaders and not friction. The next is President Barack Obama and current President Donald Trump. This was one of the most heated elections in American history in 2016, for those that remember, between President Donald Trump and Senator Hillary Clinton. At the end, President Donald Trump triumphed in that election, President Donald Trump of the Republican Party. Now, President Barack Obama and Mr. Donald Trump had sharp differences politically and ideology-wise, but that did not deter the former from ensuring that the latter received all the necessary support and benefits of getting briefings on developments in the White House and a seamless transition and in terms of effective understanding of what's happening in state affairs and international developments. That was also applauded, and even President Donald Trump, number 45 in the list, acknowledged the warm reception of President Barack Obama during his inauguration in the year 2017. But today, we had a very historic election, November 3rd, 2020 in US. Record attendance of over 100 million Americans participating in that elections. But even though a projected winner has been announced in the name of Senator Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., for now there is no seamless transition in place, as the president-elect is facing some challenges with the incumbent president, Donald Trump, who has not considered the defeat. Why? Because he claims the election was rigged and is challenging the process in court. All eyes are on the world's leading democracy. And it's showing some challenge because due to this transition process that is hampered for now, government services are being impacted. We can say that even the president-elect till now is aloof when it comes to briefings on state matters, doesn't even know what's happening in intelligence and all other key issues. So for now, the transition process is slow. Mark Meadows, the White House Chief of Staff, said he can't guarantee that there will be no shutdown in government, which will really, again, trigger another challenge for the US. And this comes at a time that there's a need for a bipartisan approach in the US concerning the issues of a stimulus plan that they've been trying to explore. So again, character will come to play because that tradition that has started from the 18th century is now facing a huge challenge. Are we going to see at the end a resolution of this whole election process, a peaceful transition and continuity of the world's leading democracy, which has become an icon, a beacon to other countries? We'll continue to give you updates on that. But it just shows you how peaceful transition, like I've analyzed and given you, has brought friendship and understanding and partnership. In all, the essence is that democracy is for the citizens and it's not for anybody's personal interest. And definitely institutions come to play like we're looking at today. The institutions must continue to play their roles, and it's very important what happens in the US, no matter what anybody thinks. But that's just some insight to get, at least for those that may not have gotten some grasp of history of what's happening in transition and how important it is. Let's get to Nigeria, and of course today is a very special day. Birthday, celebration, an iconic Nigerian leader is also viewed as a bridge builder, peacemaker, selfless leader, and has contributed to strengthening of the democratic process in Africa's most populous nation, Nigeria, and has now become an international ambassador of peace and political stability, not just in Africa, but across the globe. Former President Dr. Goodluck Jonathan clocked 63 today and has been receiving goodwill messages from leaders, including President Muhammadu Buhari, who described him as a leader that has brought honor to Nigeria, particularly in his role is the chief envoy on the Economic Committee of West African States mediation in the crisis in Mali. Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, for those who want to look at political history, made that major call in 2015 elections. He lost the elections as the first incumbent in history in Nigeria and willingly conceded and hastened the smooth transition process for his successor, President Muhammadu Buhari. Now look at, I talked about the US, but you can see in Nigeria today, there's a warm relationship between former President Goodluck Jonathan and current President Muhammadu Buhari. Both are from different parties, People Democratic Party and the All Progressive Congress, but there's this mutual respect, understanding, and best wishes they share. So again, like I've said, a peaceful transition of power is very important for nations because it builds partnerships. No leader can do it alone. You always have to learn, and it's very important. But apart from former President Goodluck Jonathan, today is also the birthday of two other great leaders. Senator Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., the winner of the 2020 US general elections and 46th president in waiting. Today is his birthday. And also, the former governor of Akwa Ibom State, and also known as the apostle of resource control. He was among the leaders who pushed for 13% resource control for the oil-producing state, South State. Architect Obong Ottoabasi Attah is also marking his birthday. So you can see that today, 20th November, those three leaders have made their impact at global level. Senator Joe Biden, senator for over 47, politician for 47 years, now going to be the oldest president in American history, clock 78 today. And of course, architect Victor Attah, who has played his role in constitutional democracy and former governor of Akwa Ibom State. And of course, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, the toast for today also, who across the globe is well respected for strengthening democracy in Nigeria. 20th November, one special date you can't forget when it comes to political leadership and transformation. But let's get on to one interesting story that has occurred this week. I mean, it's continued to be one of the big conversations in Nigerian political space. Governor David Umahi, the governor of Ebonyi State, defected to the All Progressive Congress. He's of the People's Democratic Party prior to this, and there were rumors about it. There were concerns that he had a strong bromance with the All Progressive Congress. But now it's very clear, it's visible that he is now joined the All Progressive Congress. That's a dramatic one in the Nigerian socio-political space because for those analysts who understand Nigerian political history, the Southeast has been dominated by the People's Democratic Party. The surprise defection of Governor David Umahi of Ebonyi State from the PDP to the APC just shows again how people are planning out their political strategies and schemes. And so what are the implications? Now, the All Progressive Congress has two states in the southeastern region. Prior to now, they had only Imo States. Imo States, Rochester Okorota was former governor, and now Senator Hope Uzodinma. So with Governor David Umahi, they have two states in the southeast, Imo and Ebonyi, while the other three states, Anambra is All Progressive Grand Alliance, and Abia and Enugu states are People's Democratic Party. So in essence, it's square between APC and PDP, while Anambra is APC. Well, we're watching to see how this pans out. So this shows a seemingly Ebonyi Northern Alliance, and it's not surprising because people have said it that Governor David Umahi and President Buhari have a very warm relationship. And the big question is, does Governor David Umahi have a 2023 ambition? It's not very clear. According to him, he would like to retire by 2023, but we'll keep the space to watch what will be happening going forward. But instead, it's one state that has been credited for a physical infrastructure, human capital development, a good template in the Southeast. So we'll continue to watch how it will impact the economy also, because it's very important. All these discussions also has a nexus and impact on the economy. Let's move on, but it's very interesting. I mean, if you asked me, I would say it was a rumor, but now it's true. So in politics, anything can happen, so never play out impossibilities. In politics, impossibility can become possible. But this year, has been a year of socio-political upheavals. Take, for example, Peru, where we've had three presidents in the space of 2 weeks because of protests, reactions to the way security forces treated citizens. If you asked me beginning of the year, I'll say it's not possible, but that's happened this year. Thailand, the young people have continued to protest against the emperor, the king, how things are being done in the constitution of Thailand, and they want some very robust change. These young people have been on the streets continuing to push for reforms in the country. And the pace of the protest showed that they were resilient and were not going to be willing to cave in until those issues and demands are met. Of course, Nigeria, I mean, when we talk about the young people, everybody continues to say it's unprecedented. The NSAS protest, it was peaceful, it was spontaneous, the need for police reforms. Government has responded with the various judicial panels across the states, except for the violence and the unfortunate incident that occurred in the Lekki Toll Plaza, which continues to be a debate. People are discussing about it. It's become an international concern, and all eyes are on Nigerian government and how this is going to be managed. The outcome from the Lagos Judicial Panel, the military has made their point. And of course, it's a very, very serious situation, showing you that this year, people have been very demanding over more than years before. Things that you thought would not really occur are taking effect. Uganda. Now, Uganda has been under President Yoweri Museveni for a while, for decades. Protests occurred when they arrested major political opponents and opposition leader, Bobby Wine, who's going for president. People even took pictures, and it looks like what we saw in Nigeria, the wanton destruction of properties, riots. And then, of course, we can't forget the US this year, the Black Lives Matter movement. The protests has been massive, calling for an end to a racist approach to security and law enforcement. And also Mali, the protest was on till the military took over power from the civilian government, and that is where former President Goodluck Jonathan has been trying to mediate for peace. So it's been a year of socio-political upheavals. The demands are increasing, and don't forget that this year has also been shaped by the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. And wherever you are, you now know that the citizens across the world are beginning to demand for governance. No form of government can stop the resolve once the people react to socio-economic policy or impact. So every leader in the world now knows that it's not like before, where you can rule with the iron fist. Monarchy, military, autocratic, democratic, the demands for good leadership, the demands for representative leadership, the demands for accountability is increasing, and every wise head of government across the world will take those developments seriously and respond appropriately to the demands of citizens. Talk about leadership. Leadership is very critical, they say, and Nigeria is one country that analysts, experts have said, transformational leadership will turn what we have, human and natural, to gold mine for everyone. An example of how a country has been able to turn its population and resources for its benefit is Brazil. Playback, prior to 1995-96, Brazil was a socio-economic crisis state. It had a leader called Itamar Franco, it had Fernando Collor de Mello, and they couldn't manage the socio-economic space. Brazil, like Nigeria, is a population of over 200 million people. They've witnessed political economic transformation since a leadership of an individual. But today, Brazil is a member of the G20 group of nations, and is a member of the economic bloc called BRICS. BRICS is the combination of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. The transformation of Brazil can be linked to the dynamic, strategic, and visionary leadership of Professor Fernando Henrique Cardoso. Professor Cardoso served as president between 1995, 2002, and through his leadership, Brazil experienced remarkable reforms in the economic, education, health, infrastructure, and public affairs management. Brazil had a state oil company, transformed today, and it's called Petrobras. Petrobras is in the league of leading state oil companies. Brazil, in terms of infrastructure, has experienced rail that has expanded for over 200 kilometers and is now a solid alternative form of transportation. Brazil has experienced human capital development, experienced industrialization in high forms, foreign direct investments. And after the era of Professor Fernando Henrique Cardoso, Lula Inácio da Silva, the former Labour leader, took over and continued some very key reforms, particularly focusing on social impact, which Nigeria has taken from and what we call the social intervention program. Strategic leadership, robust economic philosophy are key. Brazil took education and health seriously, infrastructure, reforms, liberalization of key state enterprises, and in the capital market level today, Brazil's capital market is $1 trillion capital market. Nigeria is just $44 billion, but we're making progress, we're on the verge. But in essence and in summary, leadership is very critical. In whatever we do as a country, the philosophy is important. As we look at our various economic plans in Nigeria, the big question is, what's the nexus between the plans and an economic philosophy? Do we have a very transformative economic philosophy that will impact the economy, impact the financial markets, capital markets, industries, infrastructure, education and healthcare, and all the other key components of our economy? Can we identify 2, 3 areas that we can be competitive as a country and leverage on that? Some experts have said, look at education and health and agriculture. Some say, look at the creative industry, education, and of course, agriculture. You know, the most important thing for our nation is that we need leadership that has a clear philosophy on how to transform our economy that will be inclusive for millions of Nigerians. Because today, our socio-economic space is challenged. High unemployment, high poverty, high inflation shows that there's a lot that has to be done. And our political space must arise and awake to this responsibility of ensuring that we get leadership, clear philosophy, and transformation for all. That'll be all for this edition of the Economy and Politics Show, and it's a wrap for this week. It's been a very eventful week, engaging you, discussing with you around developments in the economy. Next week continues to be a very, very busy week. We have expectations of course, the first Monday, Tuesday, 23rd, 24th, we have the Nigeria Economic Summit Group Summit. We also have the MPC meeting, Multi-Policy Committee meeting of the Central Bank of Nigeria. We also expect Nigeria's growth figure by next week. We'll be monitoring that development from National Bureau of Statistics. We expect, but we'll give you further updates on that. So, very busy week. We don't want to miss out from our shows from next week, every 9 a.m. from Monday to Friday. Thank you for being part of this show. Send your comments and views to news@prochng.com. Join our website, www.prochng.com. On the website, go to the right bar, scroll, you see Nigeria economy. We have a robust insight into economic developments in the country. We publish them every day, and it's enriching for you. Till we come your way again, thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Stay safe.